Good evening. You're watching a brand new week of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Special Public Prosecutor in the Malegaon blast case stands by her claim that she was told by the National Investigation Agency to go soft on terror cases involving Hindu extremists ever since the NDA came to power. While the NIA has strongly denied her accusation, does the Supreme Court now need to intervene in this matter? Well, Rohini Salian's claims have created quite a stir in the past week. And speaking tonight to NDTV's Srinivasan Jain in Mumbai, she has even alleged that there was an attempt to sabotage the case in the Supreme Court.
Hello and welcome to this NDTV exclusive. The Malegaon blasts of 2008 have always been at the center of a controversy ever since the anti-terror squad of Maharashtra probing it alleged that it was Hindutva extremists behind the blast. Now, even after the NIA has taken over the case, a fresh controversy has surrounded this particular investigation, with allegations being made by none other than the Special Public Prosecutor handling the case, Rohini Salian, that she has been asked to go soft on the case since there's been a change of regime. The NIA, of course, has rebutted this, but let's get Rohini Salian to respond to all these questions in what is her first exclusive television interview here in her chambers in Mumbai. Thank you very much indeed, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, you said in your first interview that you were asked to go soft in this particular case by someone in the NIA. The NIA has subsequently come out and said that they have checked and no such officer has given you such instructions. But you still stand by this?
Yes, I still stand by it. I swear by it.
You swear by it?
Yes.
You swear by what exactly?
What I've said.
Yes, but just for the record, if you could repeat what exactly happened.
Yes, somebody has come to me and has told me to go soft.
And this person was who?
From NIA.
A member of the NIA?
Yes.
And when did this happen exactly?
It must initially it has happened somewhere in between May and June last year.
Between May and June last year? So this is somewhere after the government changed in New Delhi?
Yes.
I see. And what did this gentleman say to you exactly? I mean, did he just say go soft or did he elaborate? Who has given him these instructions?
No, he has not elaborated.
Okay.
He only called me first that he wanted to meet me. Then I called him. He came to our court, and in the court itself, in the corridor, he told me about it.
And he said that?
He said, it is the instruction from up. I don't know who's that.
Instructions from above?
Yeah.
But he didn't clarify what he meant by going soft?
No.
And who is this gentleman in the NIA who told you this?
I don't want to name him.
But if it comes to it, will you be able to prove it?
Yes.
You will be able to prove it?
Yes.
How will you prove the fact that this incident took place?
At this stage, I don't want to reveal it.
Okay, I'm only asking you this because the matter could escalate.
Yes,
it would go to court.
I understand.
And the NIA is contesting it.
I know my responsibility and I'm accountable to the public.
Now tell me, the NIA has also said that this case is not even reached the trial stage yet. So where is the question of going soft? To that, what would you say?
So I have been arguing this matter during the 8 years also, right from day one. All bail application, all miscellaneous application, all application. I've been drafting the reply as well as arguing the matter. Right from beginning, even after NIA took over, I was asked in writing to continue. So what is the question of beginning trial? Because all issues are very important at this stage also. It's a question of retaining MCOC or not and allowing them to go on bail.
So even now there are very important aspects of the case which have to be determined, like whether or not the Maharashtra Organised Crime Act will apply to this particular case, whether the accused will go on bail.
Correct.
So one can't say that this is some unimportant time.
No, this is the most crucial time, I would say.
But you're saying, and this is again something which is very significant, you're saying that this whole shift has happened, you said, after the new government took charge. You sensed some sort of a change in mood. What exactly has changed? And one thing before that I want to ask you is, why are you bringing this up now? That's what people are asking.
Correct. Because at that stage I felt it's not my, I should say something about it unless I have enough proof.
Okay.
So it may be instruction, one doesn't know. But soft, I don't know what exactly is the meaning of soft, because by then I argued all the matters all the matters were pending in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So there was no question of arguing also.
So what triggered it? What exactly then provoked you to go public? When
Now
you said you were waiting for evidence.
Yes. Finally, the matter was decided in the Supreme Court. All issues which were pending, and it had come back now. Now it's the time to go on for the trial, exactly leading evidence and all.
This is the most important time.
Yes. And the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court is go for a special court, special judge. Every direction is there.
Yes.
So that means the trial will commence soon. So at this stage, there somebody is coming and saying that now your service is not required. It's very clear. At this stage, I felt there's something very, very serious going on. So I felt I should tell this to the general public.
You said you want to get out of all NIA matters.
Yes,
but the
yes.
NIA is saying, ma'am, that basically they are reviewing the performance of all their special public prosecutors on a 5-yearly basis. You must have seen their statement.
Yes.
And on the basis of that, the Mumbai branch felt that it was time for you to be replaced by somebody else.
Correct.
So that could well be what you have to say to that.
Yeah, because the notification which was issued in 2009 is a general notification mine saying that I am the Special Public Prosecutor for NIA in whole of Maharashtra. There was no mention of years or anything, 5 years.
So there was no time bar that was put.
No time bar was not there. Assuming they have a time bar of their own, there's no problem in appointing someone else. But till today I have not got any intimation of any sort from them.
You've got no formal intimation so far.
No.
So you're saying you're rejecting this argument that there's some 5-yearly performance analysis
First.
on the basis of which this
Correct.
is done.
Performance wise, everyone knows whichever matter I have appeared, they got good favorable orders.
So then why do you think they want to remove you? What's the motive here?
When
you said that something very serious is going on, what is that?
Every person can read between the lines.
The 2 or 3 of the main accused who've gone to court, Colonel Purohit, Pragya, Thakur, they have seen this order as something in their favor.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has broadly accepted their contention that it's not clear whether there's enough evidence of MCOC against them and that their bail application could be considered. Do you believe that this setback to the case
It's not a setback
it's not
at
a
all.
setback case? Okay.
I'll elaborate because they have challenged the order of the Honorable High Court restoring the charges of MCOC.
Okay.
And the MCOC was diluted because of some fault, according to the trial judge, of taking cognizance by the 2 magistrates.
Right.
So that issue was dealt by the Supreme Court and they have upheld the orders of the Honorable High Court.
Okay, so you're saying that still on a technicality,
Yeah.
it's not on a setback, but do you feel that this intervention that happened in the Supreme Court, that this was something which was detrimental to your case? This interference
To certain
with
extent,
with Mr. Mariaputam.
yes.
In what way?
Because ultimately we had to abruptly, close it. That is one thing. It was not to a satisfactory.
Yes.
Satisfaction sort of, what we wanted to in fact deliver before the Honorable Court.
Do you feel that the NIA has made any significant progress in this case at all?
No, in 2009, the charge sheet was filed by the ATS after 12 persons were arrested. And the charge sheet is intact now also. And in 2011, NIA took over and they investigated further. But so far, not even a single page is filed before the Honorable Trial Court.
There's not a single new piece of evidence you're saying which the NIA has brought before the trial court. So this is a problem which actually predates what you're saying is that you've seen a shift, you said, since the government changed. But this seems to be a problem which even predates this.
Yes,
that the NIA is
but
not doing enough.
I can't make comment on it because why it was not brought before the court, I can't comment on it because I don't know the real reason.
Right.
So I was never interfering with that because as a public prosecutor, I should keep away from interfering with the investigation.
Last question to you is that you have now taken the position that you said you're happy to leave the service of the NIA and you are now saying that you're willing to go against them.
Yes.
You meant that?
Yes, I did make that statement
What
because I am an advocate first,
Yes.
then a special public prosecutor or a public prosecutor. My duty is to appear and represent the court to bring the justice before the court. I am not anybody's puppet. I can't take orders from state also unless there is some substance in it.
Okay.
And even if I appear for the accused, I will not take any instructions, illegal instruction from him.
Okay, you're saying that
Yeah.
you're not willing to just be pushed around.
No.
And you're saying all of this. This is not coming out of the fact that you're disgruntled, that the NIA has given you marching orders,
Yeah.
and that's why you're reacting like this.
No, this is as an advocate, I have the freedom to
Okay.
appear for both the sides. But when I am booked for certain state, I should not appear against them in those matters where I have appeared in their favor.
So again, just to say, this is coming out of that, not out of the fact that the NIA said they no longer need your services.
No.
So feeling upset about that,
Not
you've come
at
out
all,
against
not
NIA.
at all. Not at all. Now I have been with the state of Maharashtra since ages now.
Okay.
But I have never come across such a unwanted, pressure. And my habit is that I should be, they should have faith in me. And not only that, they should give me free hand to conduct a trial and to represent properly,
Right.
legally, and for the justice, cause of justice. And I am appearing for the public and public only.
Okay. Ms. Salian, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, we will be playing out more excerpts from that interview that Srinivasan Jain has done with the Special Public Prosecutor in just a few minutes from now. Let me get initial reactions first from senior lawyer Vrinda Grover, who joins us tonight. We'll also be joined by Mr. Manishankar Iyer of the Congress Party, Ratan Sharda of the RSS, Mr. Arun Bhagat, the former director of the IB, and former IPS officer and activist YP Singh. But Vrinda, to you first. A lot of, sensational charges that Rohini has made there in that interview, and she's taken it a step further, which we'll be playing out a little shortly, where she's also said that there was an attempt to sabotage the case in the Supreme Court. She's directly accused the Additional Solicitor General, Mr. Mehta, Tushar Mehta, of doing that. And I also have Mr. Mehta's statement here saying that nobody was prevented from arguing this case. Everybody argued at length, and the arguments are all recorded in the judgment. That is his response to what she has said. Vrinda, the biggest question that is being asked is why she spoke out at this particular time. Is it because she's being removed from this position? How she's tried to explain it, but is that a question that will be repeatedly asked?
Well, this question of timing really is a red herring to my mind. I think we need to focus on the very, very grave charges she is making. She is telling us that here is a very important case and there is direct interference, there is manipulation, and there is an attempt to interfere, obstruct the course of justice and subvert it with a clear political agenda. And I think we should be glad that there are people. She's a whistleblower, she stood up, and she's going to do it at a very high cost. We know that the regime will now make all kinds of wild allegations and accusations against her. But what she is pointing towards is a pattern that you will see in all these cases. And I could say many things about what the ASG has been doing in the Supreme Court in the extrajudicial killing encounter cases.
No, but Vrinda, I think the question would also arise that, the timing you may see as a red herring, but many would argue that the timing is important, because if she claims, as she does, that she's been under pressure in this case for almost a year now, since the NDA government came to power in May and June of last year, that's when she says that the NIA first approached her, then did she not have a responsibility to speak out on this earlier?
Well, it would be difficult for me to answer this, Nidhi, also because I can't speak for her. I don't even know Rohini Salian. I'm only looking at this as a crucial issue of subversion of justice through an office of the prosecutor, which is the prosecuting agency in this country. The state is the prosecuting agency. When things like this happen, I can tell you from my own experience of doing human rights cases, you keep thinking that yes, this is not working in the system, maybe things will set right, maybe the agencies will function. So nobody throws their hands up at the first count ever.
Mr. Manishankar Iyer, do you believe that this is then a fit case for the Supreme Court to step in? Whatever, the issue of timing may be, there are very serious accusations that are being made by the Special Prosecutor. Does the Supreme Court need to intervene in this?
Not being a lawyer, I'm not absolutely sure. But if the Supreme Court can intervene in this matter, I would hope that they would intervene in this matter, because clearly it's extremely serious. The Malegaon blast case, the Makkah Masjid case, the Samjhauta case, all these are in the stages of investigation being related to certain political forces that came to power in May-June of 2014. And the accusation here is that as soon as they came into power, they started exercising pressure. Now, we don't know where else they exercise pressure, but I see no reason why this lady Rohini Salian should be lying about the pressures having started mounting on her almost as soon as these political forces came to power. For it is these very political forces that are, in a sense, in the dock in all these cases, but most particularly in the Malegaon blast case. And therefore, I do believe that if the Supreme Court has the authority to intervene in this matter at this stage, it should exercise it.
All right. Well, I'll just take a pause here and now play out another extract of this interview, particularly that bit where the prosecutor is talking about what she claims was an attempt also to sabotage this case in the Supreme Court. Let's listen into that particular portion.
Explain this in a little more detail, because this matter was something which is involving these people who have been accused by the ATS of being Hindutva extremists,
Yes.
who are responsible for carrying out this bomb blast. You're saying that even though the trial has not started, the matter is still at a sensitive stage because it even went to the Supreme Court,
Right.
where these people argued that they should be given bail because putting the Organized Crime Act against them was not valid. The Supreme Court actually ruled in their favor, one could say. It said that yes, I think there is some merit in this, whether MCOC applies or not. So this is still a very important stage.
Correct.
Now, did you feel that there was a shift of attitude even at the Supreme Court level?
Yes.
What happened there?
There, in fact, State of Maharashtra had engaged one senior counsel
Okay.
to represent State of Maharashtra because the issue is of MCOC, that is Maharashtra Organized Crime Act. It's a very important act for this state, so we want to retain it. It was earlier constitution validity of this act was confirmed by this Honorable Supreme Court.
Okay.
So here is a case where we have applied it, so we have to protect our state laws. So I always used to go to Supreme Court on behalf of State of Maharashtra, not on behalf of NIA, as my notification under NIA for Supreme Court is not there.
Okay.
It's
so,
only for trial court and High Court.
so when you went to the Supreme Court,
Last I
What
went to the Supreme Court. The matter finally reached for arguments. So the the final day, I should say one day earlier, Mr. Mariyaputtam called me and told me that
Mr. Mariyaputtam
Mariyaputtam is the gentleman, is the senior counsel of Supreme Court
who's appearing on behalf
of State of Maharashtra.
Okay.
So he was sent a feeler that he should not appear for NIA, as he had agreed to appear for them also on their request.
Sent a feeler by whom?
By somebody.
In the NIA or from
NIA,
which?
NIA.
From the NIA itself?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Then what happens?
then they said their own additional Solicitor General will appear. Even though he was never in the picture, suddenly he appeared. And when there is a senior counsel who's been asked to appear for State of Maharashtra, and we were not informed about it by State of Maharashtra.
Okay.
So therefore,
And did this Mr. Singh, was he conversant with the case? Was
not
he able
at
to
all.
argue
Not
vigorously?
at all. He has not even called me as a special public prosecutor. Normally, senior counsels call me for taking the facts.
Okay.
So whatever it is,
Right.
finally he appeared on behalf of State of Maharashtra. The Supreme Court judges allowed him,
Right.
and the next day was to Mr. Mariyaputtam was to argue. So next day when Mr. Mariyaputtam was got up to argue, so from the other side, Mr. Tushar Mehta the Solicitor, Additional Solicitor General of India, he opposed that he should, Mr. Mariyaputtam should not appear on behalf of NIA.
Okay.
So Mr. Mariyaputtam told the court, yes, he had an instruction that he will not appear on behalf of NIA as there is their own counsel.
All right, we will be playing more extracts of that interview as we get them. Mr. Arun Bhagat, the former director of the IB, also joining us in the studio tonight. Mr. Bhagat, Rohini Salian stands by the charges she originally made in that interview to the Indian Express last week and takes it a step further. She even says there was an attempt to sabotage the Malegaon case in the Supreme Court. How do you look at this entire case? Do you believe that the fact that a public prosecutor has spoken out in this way does merit some kind of a probe, some kind of an investigation that the Supreme Court needs to get into this matter?
Well, I don't think it is of the degree of importance to involve the Supreme Court. But certainly, the NIA itself should look into it as to whether this officer, if he went there and he said all these things, was he authorized to do so, or he did it on his own volition. That has to be checked up. And then there seem to be many other factors which have to be taken into account while coming to any conclusion. Now, one is that the first interview where this request was made, or I would say a request, was sometimes shortly after the new government came into position.
Yes, that's
which
what
would place it around July, let us say.
May, June, she says, last year. June, May, June.
Or June, I think the government came into position in June.
May, end of May, yeah.
End of May, all right. So that means 12 months she has kept quiet. Why? I mean, if there were more than 300 days, more than 365 days, and now she finds it imperative when she is already embroiled in certain issues with the employer. Her remuneration, for example, I believe that is what the newspapers say. How accurate it is, I do not know. And again, at the same time, normally when such things happen, you make a report immediately. Was a note recorded by her? Was it sent to the Director of Prosecution or the Advocate General of the time, to whomever she reports?
You know, I think those are very valid points.
Or did she take it up with the chief of the NIA? You know, this has been happening too often now. People who have lost authority or have given up positions or are going to be thrown out of positions, they take the aid and the help of the press. And naturally, the press becomes interested because they feel that if a wrongdoing has been committed, then it is their duty to find out.
Well, it's also because of the position that she's in as the prosecutor. And you're right, you're raising very important questions, which, Vrinda, I asked you right in the beginning. I think, and we're going to try and get Srinivasan Jain also on the line with us to explain to us whether, this was asked of her or whether she recorded this anywhere. But would you agree, Vrinda, that, these are not red herrings? I mean, if such a grave thing has happened where, she's asked to go soft in these serious terror cases, surely she should have spoken out then.
Nidhi, I'm sorry, but I think a very senior former police officer is throwing the darts in the wrong direction. He has asked for the NIA to probe into itself. Rohini Salian tells us this man is an emissary carrying a message from the NIA. So we're going to ask the NIA, look into yourself and tell us, are you good or are you bad? Really, is that going to work? Please let me tell you, what is happening here is a pattern. There is a subversion of justice going on in specific cases. The names of lawyers and additional solicitor generals that are coming up are running common. I have never met Rohini Salian. I know exactly what she is saying, what is happening in the Supreme Court. I will tell Mr. Bhagat, the very same additional solicitor general representing the state of Gujarat in the Ishrat Jahan case in Justice Gopal Gowda's court says, the state of Gujarat supports the accused. This is a statement from the prosecuting agency, from the state. Where are we supposed to put our faith? Who are we going to turn towards? The Advocate General of Gujarat has been caught in a sting operation with the accused. Who has taken action against that Advocate General, Mr. Trivedi? There is so much that is going wrong in the system.
What is the relevance
What are the
of
former
this?
police commissioners doing?
What is the relevance of our discussion
I will
today?
tell you. Can I finish? I do
bring
that.
cases
I
from
will.
all over.
Well, if you
For
can't,
which
see the pattern,
there are no
Mr. Bhagat,
answers.
please let me finish.
I mean, just
Can-
don't
no,
go
those
on in
cases are
one
not
straight
over.
line
Those
condemning,
cases are not
condemning
over unless
a
you
negative
think-
attitude everywhere.
Can I
What is
finish?
this going on?
Yes. No, there is no straight line being drawn.
Absolutely.
Can you please have the patience
Okay,
for
okay,
others
let's
to finish?
listen to each other. We all have plenty of time to speak. Brinda, finish, yes.
No, let me finish. There is a pattern. There are certain kinds of cases in which prosecution is not being allowed to proceed. And there is a pattern. The pattern is clear to anyone who will watch it from a bipartisan view. And those victims has as much a right to justice. And let's talk about closure for those victims also. When it comes to Rohini Salian, why don't you ask her this question of 12 months? And I am again repeating, I think the way systems operate, you get a message like this, you need to make sure, and I'm only speculating, I will not be her spokesperson. She will answer for herself.
No, I'm just going to take that
But I would
question.
like
I'm just
to
going
know,
to take
since
that
this
question to
goes soft,
Vasu.
doesn't seem to.
I'm going to take that question to Srinivasan Jain, who joins us on the phone line from Mumbai. Vasu, you did ask Rohini this question about why she chose to speak up now. She says it was because she was asked to leave the case at the most crucial stage. But the question that is being asked is that if she was indeed coming under pressure from a senior officer in the NIA and she believed that the official was acting on behalf of the government, on behalf of the NDA government, why didn't she speak out earlier? Why now when in fact she's probably being removed from this position? Her position is being denotified, to use the official term.
Okay, Nidhi, let me just put this into context as far as Rohini Salian is concerned. The reason why what Rohini Salian is being given so much weight is that she is not just any other special public prosecutor. She is not just any other government law officer. She's somebody who commands a lot of respect in the legal fraternity in Maharashtra, in the cases that she's worked on for the past 20 years. This is not a case in which she parachuted herself. She was personally requested by Hemant Karkare to appear for the ATS, the Maharashtra ATS in this case, which was the original investigative agency, because he was aware of her track record. Subsequently, when the case was transferred to the NIA in 2010, the NIA also asked to retain her services, again because they knew of her track record. So, hence, Rohini's statements have to be given that kind of weight. Now, as far as the question of why she did not speak up earlier, we only have her own record to go on, which is, and just to repeat, her argument that right from around May, June of last year, she started to feel that there was a very clear signal from the NIA that they wanted her to go soft. She said that all communication with the NIA virtually broke down. They stopped seeking her opinion in this case. And as and when she would send her opinion, she would get a response saying, your opinion is too long, please cut it short. This is now how we want it. She claims that she did not want to go public at that time because there was no hard evidence to back her claim. She felt she wanted to wait for an appropriate time. She claims the appropriate time was in June of this year when the NIA formally terminated her services with a message being sent by, she says, the same emissary who asked her to go soft. That's the point where she felt she could not hold back any longer and she spoke her mind. Now, she's very clear that she's not interested in doing these cases for remuneration. She does it because she feels she's committed to these cases and to the process of fair justice. And in this case, particularly because Hemant Karkare, who she respects, asked her, she decided to stay on. So I think that, one can make too much of the fact of the timing, but if you look at it on merit, she's not just talking here, Nidhi, about somebody personally requesting her to go soft. She's even citing instances of what happened in the Supreme
I think that
Court,
is important.
where two law officers appear to have worked in tandem to prevent the gentleman who was appointed by the senior counsel of Maharashtra to make his case. So I think, once again, of course, the timing and the motive can be questioned, but clearly there seems to be a lot in what she's saying, which raises very worrying questions about the future of this case.
Okay, Vasu, thanks a lot for that. And I'll take the questions that you've raised to Ratan Sharda of the RSS, who joins us tonight from Mumbai, and YP Singh, former IPS officer, also with us. Mr. Sharda, then the question that Srinivasan is raising is, Apart from the timing, isn't it important to focus then on the substance of what Rohini Salian is claiming? And therefore, doesn't there need to be some kind of an independent probe into what she is alleging?
It is very fashionable to keep on asking for probes. Everything that happens, we start asking for probe. Now let us see, Rohini in her own interview says that the case got weak right from the time NIA took over in 2011. 2011 NIA was appointed by UP or Congress government, state had Congress government, center had Congress government, and then this NIA did not offer any proof, any new developments in 2011. So from 2011 to 2015, what was going on? Either we can say that NIA is naive and incompetent, or we can say it knows enough that the case doesn't have any strength, so they are just delaying the whole issue. Is it also not true that in 2010, when revision petition was filed in Supreme Court, the Supreme Court said that this Malegaon on all these people is irrational apart from accused number 7, and they said that you must have these bail applications expedited within 1 month. Nothing happened. To detain a person for 7.5 years without any charge sheet in the court, is it not violation of human right? Colonel Purohit was in police custody from 29th October to 4th November without official arrest. He was tortured. It is there. It is a complaint in the military court. We must also remember military, after its own inquiry, did not find him guilty, so he is still on the roll. He is getting salary. That means the case is very weak. This case was hoisted. Now there are 2 cases in the court, one by AST, one by NIA. You cannot have 2 set of cases on the same accused, one accusing Muslim terrorists, other accusing so-called Hindu terrorists. So this whole case smacks of vendetta, smacks of politicization. If you remember, Mr. Shinde, when Home Minister, he said that you have to expedite cases of Muslim youth who are caught in terror cases. Do we have 2 laws, one for Hindu terrorists and one for Muslim terrorists, if all they are terrorists? The case so far does not prove anything. The lady, Mrs. Grover, has been talking a lot about human rights. Has she read the human right violation of Sadi Pragya and Colonel Purohit?
Mr. Sharda,
without the merits and demerits of the case, I would say this is very lopsided approach to the whole case.
We are not the judge and jury. I don't know whether the case is weak or whether the case is strong. That is not a call for us to take. My point simply is,
even I am not a judge. I am making a layman's case. I was shocked to see what is happening for the last 7.5 years.
Please hear me out, Mr. Sharda. I am only asking that if the Special Public Prosecutor is making a series of allegations which are very serious in nature, do they not at the very least need to be independently investigated? This is not just another probe that is being sought.
Nidhi, my first argument was that this particular case went into a doghouse from 2011 when it was under Congress government. So why did Salian not take any action till that time? Why is she? I am not even saying when she is being. See, I am not accusing her of being removed from her duties. I am talking 2011. According to her, NIA did not offer anything. So from 2011 to 2015, only 1 year under NDF, 3 years under Congress rule, and their own chosen AST, their own chosen NIA. There is no case. Why talking of the investigation now? Why talking of special probe now?
No,
it is very clear that case has no leg to stand on, so people are finding excuses.
Mr. YP Singh, come in here. YP Singh, do you not believe that there at least needs to, we need to look
this
into...
Is somebody else's, this is somebody else's accusation versus everybody else.
Well, Mr. Singh,
and I will come with its own interpretation.
No, but Mr. Singh, we are not, like I said, I don't know whether the case is weak or strong. I do know that a very senior law officer is making serious charges and that somebody needs to step in and look at those charges. Mr. Bhagat says that the NIA investigate that Brinda disagrees that the NIA cannot. Mr. Sharda, you can shout at me, but I will go on to Mr. Singh. I will come back to everybody and give everybody a chance to speak. Yes, Mr. Singh.
I am just making a point.
Yes, Mr. Singh.
Let the other viewpoint become explicit. You please listen. The fact remains that these are 2 separate issues. As it has been rightly said, whether the case is weak or strong, that shall be decided during the course of trial. But what has been alleged by the public prosecutor, this is very, very serious in nature, because it is a fundamental feature of the Code of Criminal Procedure that prosecution has to be independent from the police. In fact, if Mumbai Police and State Police, prosecution itself is a separate branch which is not under the Commissioner of Police, it is under the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. There they couldn't have removed. Here NIA has violated the code of criminal procedure. They are themselves having control over the public prosecutor, and if public prosecutor is not amenable to the illegal dictates, in that case, they just sack him. They sack her, the public prosecutor. This is a gross violation of law. It violates the principle of the Constitution of India that prosecution has to be independent completely. Now the fact remains that had Rohini Salian continued, there are so many loopholes in the entire thing that the malintentions of the police, of the prosecution, of the politicians, that would have become apparent, and that was the reason why that it was some extraneous commands were imposed on Rohini Salian that to go slow on the case, and therefore this is a very serious allegation. More than the case, it is the independence of the public prosecutor which has got compromised, and therefore I think not only NIA but all the people behind who were prompting NIA, who were having an invisible control over NIA, they have to be investigated and brought to book.
Let me get a comment from Mr. Iyer on that, on what YP Singh is saying, Mr. Iyer, on this point of the prosecutor's position being compromised, given that, she was basically appointed by the NIA as well.
Well, he is absolutely right that the prosecution has to be kept separate from the investigative process. And in this case, I share with our RSS representative my concern that the investigation was proceeding so slowly when my government was in power. But I do not know what were the reasons for which it was proceeding slowly. But I think Ms. Salian has made it completely clear that as a prosecutor, she was not required, it would have been against the ethics of her profession to interfere in the investigation. She comes into the picture when the investigation is complete. And she is respecting this distinction between the investigating agency and the prosecuting agency, which the NIA is clearly not respecting. And once this matter came out and it became clear that there were forces operating, she kept a careful eye, and now she has come to the conclusion that it is because the case has reached a crucial stage, I quote her, a crucial stage, that because she has stood firm on her principles, that she is a prosecutor, she is being relieved. She is not being relieved because she was taking too much money or that she was making outrageous demands. She was being relieved because she genuinely wanted to prosecute, and it appears that the NIA is under instructions from elsewhere to not go in for a proper prosecution because of the links that people like Colonel Purohit have with the organizations that have now come into political power.